tonight on the South Today. A nationwide lifeguard shortage makes waves in Queenstown, forcing a tough decision. New Zealand's oldest mobile library gets a revamp in Dunedin, taking on an environmentally friendly upgrade. And a new wine and food festival hits Queenstown last week, proving such a hit it's set to become an annual event. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. A nationwide lifeguard shortage is now making waves in Queenstown, forcing the District Council to close the town's public swimming pools at weekends. Alpine Aqualand is in desperate need of staff, with new pay increases and housing issues also playing a factor.
Swimmers doing a few laps and making the most of their local pool while it's open. Staff shortages have forced the Queenstown Lake District Council to close the public pool on the weekends. To open full-time, Alpine Aqualand needs lifeguards watching the water over almost 200 hours a week. Currently, it has less than 3/4 of that. Many current staff are also returning to university, meaning the large facility urgently needs at least 3 full-time lifeguards and a few part-timers for the vital job.
Look, this is critical. We have only closed once in the last 6 years for COVID, but this time, realistically, we have to close every weekend from February onwards until we find some lifeguards.
Queenstown's been struggling across the board to find workers, with hundreds of people struggling to find affordable housing in the popular resort town. Batrick says another factor in the staff shortage is a new mandatory pay increase for migrant workers, which facilities like theirs simply just can't afford.
High pay rate if we want to sponsor immigrants coming in. 1st of April, $29.66. So for an organisation like ours, that option's off the table. We just can't afford that.
The weekend closures will come into effect on the 18th of February and will be reviewed on a weekly basis. In Queenstown, the South Today.
The Dunedin City Council chose to fight proposed cuts to the new hospital build with one voice today. Councillors unanimously voted to support a fighting fund to defend the original hospital plans in the face of spiralling construction costs.
I'm getting ready to paint my placards, and I think I'll start with health cuts don't heal.
Dunedin's Deputy Mayor Sophie Barker promising the City Council she will take to the streets to protest any reduction in the new hospital build's plans. Councillor Benson Pope put forward the notice of motion to fund a public campaign to stop design cuts at today's council meeting. Mayor Raddick joined Benson Pope to second the motion, both reading from Te Whatu Ora's own risk analysis warning of the consequences of any last-minute changes to the build.
Attempting to save a little bit more in capital expenditure just right now will cause a lot more operational expense downstream.
Well, Raddick initially welcomed proposed scope changes, which came with extra government funding attached. The council's now unanimously against changes to the original plans.
We need to fight like hell for our community, for our people, for our city and for the wider region.
The campaign will see the council put forward $130,000 towards the project, as well as seeking money from additional sources. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Dunedin is joining its South Island counterparts in moving to a complete fire ban. As the dry weather continues, Fire and Emergency New Zealand announced today Strathtairi, Mopanui, Coastal Waitaki and Dunedin are now operating under a fire ban. The areas were already under fire restrictions, but are following Central, Clutha, Upper Waitaki and Lakes District's lead to prohibit outdoor fires. And while the South Island is in store for a bit of wet weather, Fens claim it's unlikely to make an impact on the already dry landscape. New Zealand's oldest mobile library service will keep on rolling following an environmentally friendly upgrade. The Dunedin book bus has ditched the diesel and gone electric while adding new accessibility features to be more inclusive.
Dunedin Mayor Jules Raddick opening the doors to the city's new library on wheels. The Dunedin City Council unveiled their first electric book bus yesterday in an effort to reach their zero carbon emissions goal by 2030. Te Pahi Puka Puka will carry over 2,000 books to the city's avid readers, with Raddick describing the vehicle as a roomy space that feels like an actual library.
This looks very good. Beautiful, clean and tidy layout, lots of books. And do they stay on the shelves as we drive around? Great.
The mobile library took around 2 years to make, cost just under $700,000, and has been decorated with a design about Taniwha Matamata, a local Māori story. It's now also been equipped with a wheelchair accessible ramp, allowing access to people who are unable to board the bus before.
So we're really keen to see some new people, new customers, and get back to seeing our old customers.
A second electric bus is in the works to replace one of the remaining 2 diesel book buses later this year. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Some spectacular rides went down at the annual Lawrence Rodeo over the weekend, and some less conventional events also kept spectators occupied.
Traditional rodeo arts on display at the Lawrence Rodeo Arena, including this impressive ride on a bucking bronco. Cowboys and cowgirls also stripped down before taking to the ring for an obstacle-filled Grundy Run event. According to the club's president, the rodeo is a major event on the town's social calendar.
Towns like Lawrence, we really benefit the whole town and the businesses because it brings so many people to Lawrence for a few days, and the pub and the restaurants and the cafes really do really well. So it's really important that small towns are able to put on events like this.
Organisers reckon at least 1,000 people were on hand to enjoy the action in the blazing sun, although for some competitors it was all over in a few seconds. In Lawrence, the South Today.
A bustling wine and food festival kept the Gibbston Valley humming over the last week with a 4-day-long celebration. The Rome Central Festival proved such a hit, organisers are keen to ensure it becomes an annual fixture on the Central Otago summer calendar.
Good weather, good music and a generous serving of good wine. The successful recipe for a summer event dreamed up by the Central Otago Wine Growers Association. The Rome Central Festival brought together 38 wineries from across the region in a rolling lineup of events showcasing the region's best food and wine.
Central Otago produces the most phenomenal wines, and it's an opportunity for us to help put ourselves onto the map even more and to showcase the produce that comes out of our own backyard.
Around 1,500 people enjoyed the flagship wine and food event at Cargo Brewery in the Gibbston Valley on Saturday, but organisers have a message for those that missed out on the inaugural party.
We're really excited as an organisation that we will be able to put this event on every year, and it will just grow and grow and grow.
This year's festival had the support of the government's COVID Relief Fund, with special tastings and dining events held across Queenstown, Wanaka and Central Otago. From Queenstown, the South Today.
Whai Akane, still to come on the South Today. A Queenstown Bike Festival wraps up with celebrations for a Kiwi legend, and the St Bathans Collie Club chalks up a century.
Passion,
drama,
competition,
rivalry, marketing,
numbers, atmosphere,
power, fight,
attack,
intuition,
love,
hate, money,
cash,
millionaires,
fans,
and fans. Oh boy.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency, and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. MolMap is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including little walks.
Just when you thought it was safe to get back on the sofa, my mate John's having a price frenzy! He's taken 19% off sectional lounge, 31% off coffee tables and buffets, 42% off selected clearance items and much, much more! Plus pay it off over 24 months interest-free! My mate John's price frenzy!
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street and my mate John.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Queenstown Bike Festival has wound up with a celebration of Kiwi mountain biking legend Kelly McGarry. McGazza Fest features a collection of events as a tribute to the rider and some of his favourite riding spots.
Flying to the clouds, the McGazza Dream Jam getting airborne over the weekend in Queenstown, in memory of late Kiwi mountain biking legend Kelly McGarry. 5 different events are staged over the last 3 days of the Queenstown Bike Festival, each with a special nod to McGazza. The competition pushes riders to their absolute limits, attempting whatever tricks they can over 60 feet jumps. Hundreds of riders and spectators turned out for the adrenaline-filled event, cheering and chanting as riders sent themselves into the air. The McGazza Dream Jam was one of the final events of the 10-day bike festival. Event organiser Emerson Wilkin is stoked with how it's all gone and paying tribute to his team of volunteers and sponsors.
Massive thank you just to all the volunteers. I mean, without them it doesn't happen. Everyone that's sort of chipped in to make it happen. You know, we have sponsors, we have just people helping us move things and set things up, and then obviously the mountain bike club too.
He's grateful that riders of all ages and experiences have been able to take part in the big festival, which wraps up with a memorial ride from the top of Queenstown's skyline in remembrance of Kelly McGarry. In Queenstown, the South Today.
It was a special weekend for one Central Otago town as a dog-loving club celebrated a milestone birthday. Dogs were urged onto the tables for a Bark Up competition to celebrate the St Bathans Collie Club's 100th birthday. Lifelong members, competitors, sponsors, families and their four-legged friends came along for the day, which marks the club's commitment to dog trials in the St Bathans area since 1923. The club's seen generations of owners and their dogs taking part in the trials, with the oldest member being 95 years old. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Queenstown's Alpine Aqualand will be closing on weekends as lifeguard shortages affect the whole country. Dunedin's Book Bus has ditched the diesel and gone electric as the council work towards their zero carbon emission goal. And the new Rome Central Wine and Food Festival was a hit, with the event securing a yearly spot on the summer calendar. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the editor, Barry Stewart. Hello, Barry.
Hello, Hannah.
What can we expect to read?
Well, Dunedin City Council met today and councillors have united to condemn the hospital cuts. So more action ahead of us there. We also talked to Tianel family who are heartbroken after their beloved dog died from suspected toxic algae poisoning, so that's rather sad. But if school lunches are on the menu for you, get some inspiration from our fresh pages tomorrow. So we have some interesting little recipes to
It's
fill the lunchbox.
Timely as a lot of schools go back for the start
Yeah,
of the
yes,
year.
I saw them this morning heading off to school in their neatly
Oversized
pressed,
uniforms?
usually nicely pressed oversized uniforms. Indeed.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. We look
Thank
forward to
you.
reading. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, expect a day of strong, humid nor'easterly airflow tomorrow, ahead of a warmer nor'westerly airflow on Thursday. Heading to the top of the South Island, fresh and nor'easterlies with rain in the north tomorrow. Expect 24 in both Nelson and Greymouth, and cloudy with 23 down in Christchurch. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, cloudy with fresh nor'easterlies through here tomorrow with highs of 24 across the board in Ashburton, Timaru and Oamaru. Heading westwards now to the Central Lakes, well, humid showers and northerlies here tomorrow. Wanaka can expect a high of 27, Queenstown 26 and a hot 28 in Alexandra. Heading further south, showers with northerlies for Balclutha and Gore with a high of 26 degrees tomorrow, while over in the Catlins it'll be dry with strong nor'easterlies and up to 23 as the high. And down to the deep south, fine tonight as it drops to 11 degrees, then hot and humid tomorrow with fresh northerlies and a high of 29 degrees. Thursday brings some showers around lunch, otherwise windy and cloudy with a high of 24. And finally, heading to Dunedin. Cloudy tonight with nor'easterlies and a 16-degree low. Tomorrow, overcast with gusty nor'easterlies and a humid 23-degree high. And then into Thursday, well, a hot day with 28 degrees after a cloudy start. And that's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite pōpō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.